This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome live to the Sabi Sands Game Reserve in South Africa. We're only looking at trees today. Of course, I'm lying. We're with the Niconico Pride, who are lounging in the shade of the Balanites tree that I fell out of. At least when I fell out of it, there were no lions underneath it. My name is Brent Smith. I have Dangerous Dave Eastall on camera, and you're on a live safari. Here we go. Isn't this wonderful? Now, sitting next to the Nkuhumas in the dry October semi-heat, because the weather is confused at the moment, reminds me of something that happened many moons ago, back in 2015, where I had a battle with the Final Control ladies. And the Lions were doing pretty much what they're doing at the moment, and I said I was going to stay with them. They said, no, it would be boring, you must move on. So I pretended to move. I drove around in a circle and I came straight back to the Lions when it came for the next segment. Tara Dales was directing. She was very angry with me, and I said, no, trust me, I know Lions. We have to stay here, it's worth it. She said, no, we need more diversity in the show. I said, no, we must stay with the Lions. Of course, as always, I was right, because we got our first ever live buffalo kill that afternoon. I've got a feeling they are definitely going to hunt today. So everyone, I hope you're ready with your patience pants, because we're going to be here for the long haul. Emma, who was not here in 2015, and maybe says she's prepared to be super patient. That's good, Emma. Otherwise you would be in trouble. Now, someone who's probably also got his patience pants on and is sitting tight with more lions, but a couple of thousand kilometers to the north, is David Gitu in the Masai Mara.
Hello and welcome to the Masai Mara Triangle. And I also got a lioness here, and we may not be able to see her very well. She got two cubs with her, and this is part of the... oops, you can see the cubs jumping up and down there. If you look carefully, just near her head, you can see some two little cubs that are playing with Mama there. Yes, Emma says cute in the Final Control, and this is part of the Sausage Tree Pride. And we are in the Masai Mara Triangle, and my name is David, and with me on camera is Manu. How are you, Manu?
How are you?
Very good. Excited. Remember, all of you, this is a very interactive safari. Your questions, should you have any comments, please give them, and you can do that using #SafariLive. We're in a very high area, and we want to give you first a great view of the Masai Mara Triangle, and you see the beauty of the Mara, the clouds, the savannah, the tree line. Just look at that huge wilderness of the Masai Mara Triangle. How cute is that? So this area had been covered until maybe the other few days ago by vast herds of the wildebeest and zebras during the migration. And we have started to see the very tail end of the migration as they are heading back further south to a country called Tanzania in a national park called Serengeti. So you can see some pockets of them there, and this is the tail of the wildebeest migration. And you can see the wildebeest are always on the move, and that's how maybe they ended up being called, you know, the animals that do migrate. The white spots you see as much as is quite a distance from here, all those are zebras. The migration consists of wildebeest and zebras, of course more wildebeest than zebras. All the area you see there, if you'd have come here a few months ago, had very tall grass called the red oat grass. You can see them running there, and what these animals do is to eat it, step on it, just break it down as they move. And these animals move in their thousands and thousands. Well, I will sit here a few more minutes and finding out if the lioness just so might wake up, and we'll see the cubs much better. But in the meantime, there's a gentleman who has a bigger smile than me who would like to say hello.
Look at that. I have just arrived here in this area, and it seems like things has been happening here. You can see there is a carcass at the moment on the ground. A very, very good afternoon, and welcome to the beginning of the afternoon safari. I am Sydney Mikosi, and I'm traveling with Seb, who is my camera operator. For your questions and comments, you can follow us on Twitter, #SafariLive. You can also follow us on YouTube chat stream. My plan this afternoon is to look for the little chief, Hosanna. So I have heard that Hosanna has been here in the same area earlier on, and when I'm looking at this carcass, this has been an impala. You can see that the color of the leg which is left there just lying looks exactly like the one for the impalas, but also the tracks and the hoofs. This is clear that the impala has been taken down. I'm not too sure who took it down. Maybe he died naturally or he has been caught by something. But when looking at the evidence, looking at these ribs and these feathers on the ground, it shows that who ate here the most was the vultures. Vultures don't eat the same like predators and scavengers. They only get hold of the meat in between the ribs. You can see if it was a cat, the ribs would have been destroyed, and we're not going to find these ribs hanging as they are here on the ground. So the vultures can be able to get hold of the meat anywhere and everywhere in between these bones by the ribs. They cleaned all the ribs. So this carcass, to me, it looks much fresh. It's not very old. Maybe it's something that happened last night. It's just that there's a lot of evidence on the ground showing that there has been quite a lot of vultures. And those kinds of birds, they can be able to eat quite a lot. Look at that. You can see there is even a full feather there, right, attached to the carcass. So those are the strong evidence showing that these vultures has been here. Hosanna has also been here, but it means he ate a little, because a lot was already taken by the big birds. So these big birds, they are also very much beneficial to the ecology, because when they are feeding on these dead animals, they help in order to prevent the spread of disease. Eating the carrion helps us a lot. So when I'm checking here, I have not noticed any sign of the presence of the hyena. I don't think hyenas has been here, because these kind of bones that we are seeing here, there's still quite a lot of small bits of red meat available. I think for the hyenas, this can be a very nice meal. So maybe later on, hyenas might pick up the scent, come and finish the rest. If we come here tomorrow, I don't think we're going to find this carcass as it is. Something else is going to come and scavenge this, I can promise you. So I am going to be investigating around here, because Hosanna has been spotted coming to this carcass earlier on. He might be somewhere lying in this area, so I'm going to search each and every shade. I am sure he's somewhere here. If I don't find him here, I'm going to go to the nearest water hole, where later on he might go for drinking purposes. So now let's go to Brent. I'm not too sure if his lions are up and running or just very relaxed. Let's see how his lions are doing this afternoon.
Well, they're about as relaxed as I am at the moment. Very, very relaxed. And as I said, we're going to have to be patient here today. So while we're being patient, I think we should start off our afternoon with a quiz. David, what do you think? A quiz, a lion quiz. Which country has recently discovered an was unknown, but a completely new population of lions that were thought to be extinct in that area. In the last, it was about 3 years ago. So in the last 5 years, which country and which area in that country has there been a new viable population of lions discovered? Hashtag SafariLive if you know the answer. Now, of course, lions have been decimated through the majority of their original home range. So it's always very exciting when a new population that was thought to be locally extinct is found. Oh, you guys are on the ball today. Yata says, is it Ethiopia? It is indeed Ethiopia. It's on the border of Sudan and Ethiopia. Well done. Did you know that, or were you very quick on the Google? That is the question. But well done. Yes, it is indeed Ethiopia. And it was discovered when they were doing a camera trap survey, and in the Alatash National Park in Ethiopia and the Dinda National Park in North Sudan, across the border. And it was a nice, a very, very exciting find. As there might be anything from 100 to 200 lions in between those two national parks that have managed to survive some pretty difficult times in both those countries over the last 50 years. So very, very interesting stuff. I am still going to go on a mission. A mission to find the lost lions of the Congo and Gabon one day. I will go find them properly. Because there's a young male that turned up. If there's a young male, he had to have a mom and a dad, and that's come from somewhere. David's wondering, are these all the lions from the morning, and are they all still here? Pretty sure they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, have we added more since this morning, Dave? Let me try. There's a Talamati male there. Okay, let's ignore the Talamati male. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we have added 1 since this morning. So we're missing 1 in Kahuma, but we've got the Talamati male. That's that one, and then we've got the 3 Mangens at the back. There's 1, 2, 3. But there are 10 Inkahumas here from my last count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. So there should be 11. Looks like one of the sub-adults might be missing. All 5 adult lionesses are here. Now that Mangen over there is probably going to move quite soon because the shade is moved away and it's going to start getting a bit hot in the sun. But in the meantime, let's go see Gigi in the Mara and what his lions are getting up to. Hopefully he manages to catch up with those little cubs.
Well, this lioness is on the run, and luckily, as I said, chances are they might come down from the tricky hill, and you can now see her cubs running with her. One is much faster than the other. And how lucky and how beautiful to have them out in the open. Oops, jumping up, playing with Mama. But Mama is like, we need to get somewhere. Look at that run. She's much bigger than them. She got bigger strides. She's making bigger strides to mean running from any danger. But she knows in an open area like this, kind of cover as quickly as possible. Of course, there's some dangers out here. Either hyenas or leopards could see that she got some small little cubs and they might target on them. So the whole idea is for the mother to keep running and to make sure they're out of this open area. And you see that big forest there. That's where I think they might be heading to. Very good. Thank you, Manu. That's the destination. And once she knows they get there and she can rest and hide the cubs, and then most likely make a plan to get some dinner for herself and the two. Trish, we're going to move forward fast, and this is looking exciting with such great weather. Allow me just fast to cross the road here. There's a bit of a drainage. One, you might have to hold on for yourself. Oops, that's a bit difficult. So she's still walking out in the savannah, and ahead of her, way in front, I can see there's some wildebeest and some zebras she might be going for. Let me go now to high ratio from low range, which you've been doing. I'm going to race around and see whether I can catch up with her. She's a bit fast than us, but this is a lot easier for me than going up that hill and coming down. Definitely she has the intentions of getting some meal for herself. Look what a lovely weather we got. Great sunlight, which I think could give it an advantage to hunt if she wants to or she chooses to. All righty, another 30 seconds. Thank you very much. These cubs truly are very cute. At the age of 2 months to 6 months, lionesses cubs are the sweetest to me. Small, very playful, full of energy, and we're going to see them pretty close now in another 30 seconds, and hopefully they're going to keep playing for us. Manu, tell me what's the best position to stop. That's good fun. All right. So there they are, and very good light on her and her two youngsters, still being very playful as they want to cross the road. Jump, hop, step, cross the road. I do not know why she had decided to cross the road. Where she came from, I would imagine there could have been some other animals, but look at those tiny guys. Hello. Follow Mama, don't make any mistakes. Yes, and that joke is always very good. Why did she cross the road? I might be able to explain for the cubs. I do not know why the lioness crossed the road, but for the cubs, I would say they crossed the road to follow the mother. Manu, why do you think the mother crossed the road? Manu says the same reason, but I'm saying the cubs crossed the road to follow the mother, but I do not know why the mother crossed the road. I think the cubs are smart and they do not want to lose sight of the mother. And if you look there, those are the wildebeest we were watching earlier from up the hill. Whereas I would guess new young cubs have no idea how heavy they would weigh, but I would just maybe think, what, about 400 pounds or maybe slightly bit less. I'll be able to confirm that. Let's just move forward, but I'll be able to tell you exactly how they may weigh. Of course, it will depend on the lioness or on genetically some lionesses have bigger cubs than others, just like human beings. So some cubs may weigh more, some may weigh less, but I'll just give you an idea in a few minutes before they disappear. I want us to have another one quick look at them. How is that, Manu? Good? That's good? I want us to have one more quick look before they disappear so that I'll be getting an easier route to go around and meet them in the direction they're going near the wildebeest. But I want us to have another look of this sausage tree. And for those of us, or for those of you who will be joining us now, this female is one of the members of the sausage tree pride. She got two youngsters, 3 months old, and they're just having a ball and great time they're having. One cub seems to be dragging behind. Not sure why, who likes to play with the other cub, but I've noticed this one particular cub that drags behind doesn't play with the mama or with the mother as often as the one that's close to the mother. My own guess have always been the most playful cub that's always close to the mother is the male. Maybe yes, maybe not. Yes, Bob, I agree with you. Maybe it's all about food, Bob. I would agree with you. That's a great comment. So I want to try and move much further forward and maybe take a huge turn, and we'll follow them until where they'll go. I still can see the zebras walking and the wildebeest. Very good. My lion seems to be active, but the ones in South Africa don't sound to be very active.
Oh, just the poor Mangeni trying to deal with his horrific sarcoptic mange. Very, very, very sad. Look at this. Very flat cats at the moment. Now, it is sunny, but it is quite cool. They are hungry. They haven't moved too far from where we left them this morning, so there's a good chance that they might get up and start moving a little bit earlier. I've just heard there is a herd of buffalo not too far away, probably about 2 kilometers or so, directly to the sort of the northeast of us. And I think it's the same herd that was around Gallagher Pan yesterday. So if the wind blows in the right direction, they might hear that brr, brr, brr of a buffalo herd, and that could get their heads up and them on the move quite quickly. Beck is saying, who is the third Mungen? He is the third Mungen, Beck. As I say, as far as I knew, there were always 3 of the Mungen boys, and he was with the split of the Nkahumas that were in the west for the last little while. So, as I thought, there were always 3 Mungen boys, but as I say, I've been in Kenya for a long time, so I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you guys can just let me know. Bob is asking, would any of the Nkahumas mate with the Mungen males? No, they're too young, Bob. Talamati male, he's coming into sort of the right sort of age, maybe. Maybe. Difficult to say. But no. I think, and basically, I think that it's a difficult time for the Nkahumas Pride, and they've had a difficult 4 or 5 years with the amount of lion male changes. It was the Matimbas, then the Birminghams, now the Evokers. So they'll want their sub-adults to get to an age, the female sub-adults to get to an age where they are sexually mature. That will stop the Evokers trying to kill them, although we saw the Evokers feet. I don't know. The line dynamics at the moment are really, really, really strange. Okay, well, our lines are flat. It seems like David's are still on the move. So hopefully they're going to catch themselves a wildebeest. Oh, before we send you across tomorrow, let's have a quick look at that Mungen male. Bye.
See that. Well, I think I got more action here than in South Africa, and you can see this member of the Sagittarius Pride. From a distance, he is watching the tail of the migration as they run. She's turning, she's looking at us. We are quite a distance from where she is. And most likely she is getting a breather. I highly doubt she may want to hunt right now, but she's just watching them. And copy. How nice to see her just running. So what we're going to move is to move forward a little bit. So they keep walking, and the cubs are following closely, very slowly, behind the mother, not staying more than 5 meters away. And we're going to be stopping here and find out what they want to do, but I can tell they must have targeted, or she must have targeted, some dinner for later tonight. Very majestic walk in the Mara Savannah Triangle. The wind is holding now. It's very, or rather windy before, but much better. She is not as fast as she was coming down the hill. She has slowed down considerably, but she thinks now she's much safer. But the cubs, look at those two, how playful they are. They need to strengthen their muscles. So sorry about that. The wildebeest keep walking. The lioness, she's still walking with her two cubs. So what she has done now, she's just walking between the two groups, or she just walked through where they were running through. So there's one herd to the left. Oops, this one is a very playful cub. So what we want to do, we're just going to drive forward a little bit. That's the main herd that's in front. And I can tell you, they have no idea that there's a lioness or there's a predator behind them. She's definitely not going for them. And funny enough, how the wildebeest move. When one decides to jump and run, the rest just follow suit. How cool is this? So we're going to move forward a little bit and find out what could be the final destination for these two cubs. She is not as fast as she was before. Rosalind, how long is the migration? The migration does not start or does not end. And it's a continuous movement all around the year. And to me, the migration is always clockwise. Now, she's just stalking. Let's just find out, Rosalind. She just stopped. I'm not sure she's stalking or what exactly she's doing. She's just laid down there. And I think she has communicated to the cubs. She needs to communicate to the cubs not to spoil this hunt if she's going to hunt. So the migration does not start, does not end. The only thing the migration does, it will pause for about 2 weeks in the month of February, when all these wildebeest are in Serengeti National Park in Tanzania, when the wildebeest will be dropping their young ones. In a period of about 2 weeks, they drop about 500,000 to 600,000 babies. So you can see the cubs are either listening to the mother, and she has to tell them, stay put, don't move. That could be your dinner. If you misbehave, you're going to miss dinner, you're going to suffer. And definitely I'm sure she's communicating to them. They blend in so very well, and still quite a long file of the wildebeest. Miss Parker, yes, I'll tell you what, the lioness is a very intelligent, I would say, cat, and they'll always show or train their young ones. This is how things are done. So one day when you become independent, you'll have always to walk in the grass, hide yourself, blend in, and make sure you look at, say, the prey. And maybe she's telling them, look at that file or all those wildebeest running. See if there's a baby in that group. See if there's one that is limping. That's what you go for. I would imagine that is the communication going on between her and her two young ones. You see the one in the lead there was a young one. That in the middle there is another young one. And that one is a young one. So the wildebeest will always make sure they put the youngsters in between the file because they know the dangers they face. But the whole idea is just to hide there, and these wildebeest will not pick any danger. As it is now, they do not know this lioness is there. Look at those zebras. Just walking casually because they have no idea. The wind is blowing towards the lions or towards us, which gives the lioness all the advantage of not being spotted or picked up by this prey. These are what we call the plains zebra or the common zebra. In Kenya, we've got two different types of zebras. We have this particular type of zebra, and further north, we have another type that's called the gravy zebra. So this one, we usually say it's much similar to the donkey, and the other type that's further north of Kenya is much similar to a horse. So migration consists of wildebeest and zebras, but in general, more wildebeest than zebras. And it has been a festive season in the Mara Triangle for the last few months for all the predators here. I'm talking about lions and hyenas. I'll tell you, yes, these zebras do not have an idea what could be lurking behind them. And if the lioness will think it will be easier to bring down a zebra than the wildebeest, that's what she'll do. Because if you look at these two different species of animals here, the zebras and the wildebeest are on the run. But I have found out of experience, it's a lot easier for the lions to hunt a wildebeest than a zebra. They have been having a festive season. All the predators in the Mara Triangle, lions, leopards, cheetahs, hyenas, because of the bumper harvest of having the migration around here. What's happening now, we're just seeing the tail end of the migration, and all of them now are heading due south, and they should be very close to Ngorongoro, or to the west of Ngorongoro, the east of Serengeti National Park by January, so that come February they'll be ready to give birth, because most of the females now are pregnant. Let's just move forward a little bit, because she seems to be moving on an intent. She seems to be having idea. Well, I'm going to go close to these lionesses, to this one particular lioness, see if she may do something. But I think Brent's lion are becoming a little bit active than before.
Indeed they are. There is a little bit of movement happening with the Nkahumas at the moment, and the Mangane boys. There's an odd head up. There's been a few little stretches. There's a yawn. Well, half a yawn. That wasn't a full yawn. But the temperature's dropping quite quickly. As I say, the weather is confused at the moment. It's supposed to be summer. This morning was bitterly cold. Lisa says, look at those bellies, they seem full. Lisa, it is quite the opposite. Those bellies are very empty. They are very hungry lions. There's two Manganes up now. There's a second one up at the right. That seems to be the largest of them. Painted Wolf is asking, are they scratching those mites? They are indeed, Painted Wolf. And this morning, one of the very mangy males walked very close to us. And there we go, Dave's going to show you now. And we've talked about how the sarcoptic mites cause, how's that? So you can actually see an open wound with pus coming out of it. So they have an allergic reaction to the mite, and that's what causes that horrible reaction. And what's happening there is that apart from also causing those incredibly painful and itchy sort of explosions of pus out of their heads and especially on their heads and ears, it is also an immunosuppressant. So whatever the mites do suppresses their immune system as well as their hunger. Although that other boy looked like he was getting tucked into that buffalo a few days ago. But certain lions can deal with mange better than others. And certain prides seem to be able to handle it better. Now, we've seen signs of mange with the Nkuhumas before in the past, but they've never really gone to the same degree as the sticks or those little Mungen males at the moment. And obviously maybe in their genetics they're able to stretch, hold on, or have a better immunity to the sarcoptic mange mite. Now, we were talking about the distribution of lions and how much they have sort of disappeared from their past home ranges. So, I mean, you can see the blue is where they are now. And some of these are not quite right. There's a few more blue areas in this day and age now, but that's that. So you can see where they occurred historically, all the way down the Nile River. Probably the first place that lions went extinct in Africa was in Egypt, and they were hunted mercilessly by the pharaohs. And you can see in India, the only place you get Panthera leo, tiny little spot in the Gir forest. Yeah, so there's a couple of spots. There's some areas now that that population I was talking about that no one knew about was up here. Right up there. So on the border of Ethiopia and North Sudan. Interesting stuff, that. It's a bit sad. Paul C is wondering, have I ever encountered another pride that runs an adoption agency for young males? Trying to think. I haven't. I don't think it's by choice, though, Paul. I think if they felt they could really push these young males away, they would. Although the Talamati male, as you can see here, has definitely now he's been accepted by the Nkuhumas. So he's done okay for himself. Now, there could definitely be the fact that the males have mange and the females are picking up on the fact that they are not in the best condition, and that's why they are even less likely to accept them into the pride. After that little bout of stretches, it looks like everyone is now going back to sleep except one of the subbies, but it looks like her head's up. Oh, there we go, flop. Back to sleep. Okay, well, we're going to sit here, but Sydney's still looking for leopards. Let's go see if he's had any luck.
I am still here looking for these leopards. I am trekking everywhere, but there is no sign of Hosana here. He has been spotted here earlier, going to that carcass we saw just earlier, but to find him is very difficult. Maybe he has moved much more towards the waterhole. I have been to the Galago pen again for the first time, so it means he is somewhere in between the block, between here where we are, which is the Galago shortcut, and the Galago pen. So now I will be heading towards the Buffalo's Hook Dam, which is not very far away from where I am. There has been a leopard which has been spotted, and probably it was a Tingana who has been spotted there around Buffalo's Hook Dam. I'll come back here later on and see if I can find Hosana. So these kind of cats, they prefer to go for drinking just before or shortly after the sunset. When I come back around Galagopen area, during that time, the chances are very high for us to see them. So Hosana might be lying down somewhere around the Buffalo's Hook Dam. I think after having a meal for a couple of days there next to the Vuyatalapen area, he is full now. I don't think he's going to travel too much. So now let's go to David by the Masai Mara, who's got the lion cubs, something I haven't seen for quite a very long time. Lion cubs.
Well, it's very good. The lions in Juma are up and about because my one lioness here, who is a member of the Sausage Tree Pride, is still on the move with her cubs. What a good jump there. The temperatures have come down considerably, and this makes it easier for her just to move around. With her young one, she ignored all the wildebeest and the zebras that have been passing here, and she thought it's first best thing for her, I guess, is to put her cubs in a safe area, and then she's going to make plans to hunt. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not very sure. Oops. That one is very playful, and I think tonight when we go back to the camp, me and Manu will try and get a name for her. And just one moment. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Masai Mara Triangle in Kenya. We have such a wonderful sighting of a lioness with her two cubs, very, very playful. For those who have never joined us before, please remember you can ask us questions using hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Should you have any comments, you can give them through, and this is pretty exciting. My name is David, and with me on camera is Manu. And what we're going to do, we are trying to follow this one lioness with her two cubs and find out where she wants to go. Those who have never joined us before, we normally broadcast live, and this one particular lioness belongs to a pride of lions that we call the Sausage Tree Pride. It's a pride of 5 females, and they have 2 additions of these 2 new cubs with them. She has been walking with us for the last few minutes. Marvin, yes, lion cubs are just like kids. You notice they're full of energy, and because of that, they'll be wanting to play a lot. So let's just first stop here and see what exactly they want to do, and maybe enjoy their playful games. They need to strengthen their muscles, and that's one of the reasons why they keep... Oops! Be careful, that was a bit rough, eh? You don't play like that, eh? And I'm sure that one might be cautioned by the mother later. And as I said before, should you want to ask us questions or give comments, you may on hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. This is a member of the Sausage Tree Pride. Tom, what would happen is, I think this mother of the Sausage Tree Pride has done very well. Lion cubs suffer a lot when it comes to hunger, and that's what brings them down. And we have been having the migration going on here as they try to move on. And I got a feeling they will make it. They will make it in the sense that anytime they're 3 months and above, that's a good age for them to see full age. I'm just looking carefully to avoid driving on rocks. So yeah, I'm very convinced they have passed that stage, which is always very tricky for cubs. Vicky, very difficult to tell. At the age of 3, Vicky, it could be very difficult to tell. But anything 6, 8 months and above, we can tell. And what will happen at that age, they will start, Vicky, if there'll be males, they'll start showing some signage of mane, coming out on their neck. And that way, we are going to tell whether they're males or females. But at the moment, Vicky, it's very difficult to know what sex they are. I've only been joking with Manu, saying of the two, one of them is more playful than the other, and maybe the playful one is the male. Well, I could be wrong. Manu, what do you think?
Find out soon.
Well, Manu says we have to find out soon. So another 3 months or 4 months from now, 6, 7 months, Vicky, we should be able to tell you whether they're males or females. Always keep in touch. Unlike the zebra there with her foal that's just running, not sure they have seen the lioness. I do not know. But look at her. She's on the run. Mia, lion cubs at the age of 3 are very comfortable, or they're competent to start eating meat. These ones, I saw them like a week ago, and the mother had brought down a wildebeest for them, and they were sharing with the mother to eat the wildebeest. So at the age of 3 months, Mia, lion cubs can comfortably eat meat. Now she's looking at those zebras there. That's maybe a mother and her foal, and not sure what she is thinking. And how wonderful to be here in the Masai Mara Triangle. The cubs are there, and I'm sure she is giving them instructions. Should she decide to hunt, I'm sure she'll go in to pass some message. Zebras run, zebras run. It's true, zebras run, but unfortunately I might say something different to you and say lions run, lioness run, because they need to eat. As much as the zebras need to survive, these lions need to eat. And maybe the lioness listen to me, and lioness run, lioness run. So what are you planning to do? Do you want to hide under that termite mound, or do you want to keep going? Not sure those 2 zebras there have seen her. I highly doubt. Oops, that was going the wrong way. And I think there might be confusion here. And if that happens, we'll see. So the mother most likely has gone flat in the grass. I can only see the 2 cubs now. Oh, the mother is still walking. I'm not sure she is doing it very well, because she might very easily expose herself, and these zebras might see her. Did you see the lioness? Oh, there she goes. She's going. She's running. She's going. She's going. She's going. She's going. Oh, come on, much faster. Zebra much faster. Lioness much faster. Go, go, go. Wow, she's going. She's keeping a pace. She's much faster. Oh, she's going. She's going. She's going for it. She's going. There she goes. She is going. She's going. Keep going. Wow, how close she's going. Either she'd go for a baby. Oops. They don't run for very long before they get tired. Look at her weight. She's there slowing down, and she's going. She's going. Oh my God. She's going. She's going. She's going. Oops. Oops. She's going. She might get one down. She is going. She's trying to kick back. Let's see whether they can turn very quickly. She's going. She's going. To try and give you a different tango, Manu, there. Let me just reverse very quickly. Oh, she's either give up. She was very, very, very close. How close was that? Hoo la la. She was very close. The timing I don't think was very good, but I don't say she did very, very well. Oh, goodness me, eh? How close was that? How epic. These zebras will live to tell a story. Yes, and yeah, in the final control says that was truly insane, and how epic was that? Very well done, lioness. Very well done, zebras. I'm not sure who to cheer or to clap for, but I think everybody has done very well. That was exciting. I think now what the mother will do, she'll just come very quickly back to her cubs and find out how safe they are. And you can see they've been on that termite mound. Please keep watching, and be alert. We might be sending you other notifications should we see other exciting moments. Well, I am breathing out and my adrenaline had gone very high, and that was truly exciting. And these zebras will have a story to tell. I'm sure in the diaries they're going to mark this day, and they're saying that had come very close to death, but they survived a whisker. This lioness was very close. I would say she was barely 3 meters away. So we'll try and move forward now and see whether we can get her coming back to her cubs and find out what she will report to the cubs and tell the cubs, sorry, we missed dinner, but I'll give it another shot. Let's find out how exciting or Brett's lions are exciting, like this one lioness here.
Well, there is a bit more movement amongst the lions of the Nkuhuma. I've also just heard that a massive herd of buffalo have arrived at Vuyatela Dam. So, if the wind is right, they should pick up the sounds of that brr, buffalo. And one of the lionesses getting up. This is always a good sign. She's going to urinate, maybe stretch a little bit, then flop down again on the other lions. But this is the sort of first signs that they are going to start moving. You can see there's a few more heads up. I wonder if their hearing is good enough to hear those buffalo. Probably about 1.5 kilometers away. And we all know how like the Nkuhuma pride likes to eat buffalo. Stretch and roll. Paula says her hip is looking a lot better. Indeed it is, Paula. We're still not 100% sure how she got that massive wound, but she has recovered quite quickly, considering how large and how much flesh was missing. Now, not yet. She's probably going to flop down towards one of the others once she's finished urinating. So lions almost have a ceremony before they get up and go moving. You go have a pee, do your ablutions, have a stretch, flop down for a bit. Then the next one will get up, do the same thing, start grooming each other. Now, the aloe grooming, which happens at this time, is very, very important to reaffirm the bonds within the pride, because we've all seen lions at the dinner table and they will beat the absolute nonsense out of each other to get as much meat as possible. So there's the little Nkuhuma male giving his budding mane a little groom. And you see lots of little movements starting to happen. Now, this does not mean they're going to get up and move right now, but it is the sort of starting of the afternoon ritual. They could even only, what's the time now? I'd say 45 minutes or so, unless they hear those buffalo clearly, is when they're going to get up and start heading on the hunt. Oh, shame. There we go. His eyes are half closed now. He's sort of groomed for a while and he's going to flop over. There's a big yawn coming. So the Nkuhuma male seems to have very much bonded with the Talamati male. They were lying very close together, and that means maybe we're looking at a new coalition forming here between the Nkuhuma male and the Talamati male. However, the little Mangen males are growled at and snarled at equally by the Talamati male and the Nkuhuma male, as well as, of course, all the females. Eddie is wondering, do I think they'll go for the buffalo at the dam, on the dam cam? Most certainly, they will do. Look at that. So the sun is... Painted Wolf says they're new bros. Indeed they are, Painted Wolf. And you can't help but feel sorry for those mangy mungans. You can see constantly licking. Gio would like to know how you tell young males apart from lionesses. Well, Gio, when they're quite young, there's the obvious thing that is between their legs. That helps to tell them away difference from the females. But as they get a bit older, like these guys here, you'll start seeing the mane growing a little bit. When the Talamati male sits up, you will be able to see, there we go, you can even see that there's a bit more mane there. So he's a bit older than the Nkuhuma. And they are getting... how old is the Nkuhuma now? I can't remember. Must be just over 2 years old. So Talamati male is probably around 3. Maybe a little bit older. Okay, as I said, there was a report of a spotty cat off to the east of us. Let's go see if Sydney has managed to catch up with him.
Oh, look at that. I've got a lovely spotted cat. You can see he's just very much pretty relaxed now. This is the Duke of Juma Tingana. You can see the bellies are very much full. When the bellies are full like that, there is no chance. He must have to sleep long hours. He has been eating a lot for the past couple of days. So he's not very far away from the water at the moment. So he's just has been to here, Buffalo's Hook Dam. He had some water already. Maybe he's going to also have the afternoon drink before departing from here. But he still have got quite a lot of hours available to sleep at the moment. So now, while I'm still waiting to see what is going to happen here, let's go back to David, who is now very much close to the camp.
I'm having the best time in a long time with the Sausage Tree Pride, which at least this one lioness almost brought down dinner for these 2 calves. I still... congratulate her for a job very well done. She did not make it, but I think she has sharpened her muscles and she'll be better next time. With having calves like this, definitely she's not going to go a whole day without bringing some dinner down for them. That's the usual playful cab, and the other one joins in. There's a pool of water not very far from where they are. I'm surprised they didn't drink any. And especially, thank you, Manu, and especially the mother having run that fast. But maybe what I'm guessing, she wants to place the calves in a safe place and then maybe come back for a drink and make new plans for dinner for her and her 2 young ones. She's walking towards some thickets, which I think will be safe for them for the night. And for those who are joining us now, please remember you can always ask us questions. Polly, I'll tell you, after that chase, those zebras will be not less than, sorry, excuse me, man, for that, not less than 5 miles. I would say they'll be going about almost 8 kilometers away from here. They cannot take any chances. And I'm sure they're very traumatized. I doubt they'll even be able to eat for the next 1 day because they'll be having a story to tell Polly, how they survived death very narrowly and very close. So that bush there, which is magic Ngwari bush, I would guess she won't take the cubs there, hide them there, or enjoy a bit of shade. I'm sure she's still panting, having rain that fast. I'm trying to imagine she was running like Usain Bolt to get one of the zebras down. She didn't make it. But the cubs, I'm sure they're still very proud of their mother. For those who are joining us now, this one lioness belongs to the Sausage Tree Pride. Sorry, I missed the question from Heather. Oh, the Pride has already met the cubs, Heather. The Pride has already met the cubs and is only today... Yes, and Heather, sorry, is only today that we are seeing her alone. But for the last, I would say, a week and a half, we have seen them together. The Sausage Tree Pride has 5 females, and 4 days ago, we saw her with 3 members of the Sausage Tree Pride. There's a giraffe in the background there, so the cubs have already met the Pride. And what I do not know is whether the father, who I guess is a male here called Kipuli, has had some interaction with his cubs. Since they were born, I haven't seen Kipuli, the territorial male, around this area with his cubs. I've always seen this female with 2 cubs, or her with the other 4 members of the Sausage Tree Pride. Are you looking at us? Are you sure you're okay? So any nice shade is where they're going to settle down. And I'll not be surprised if they decide to bed in this area for the night. Jump carefully. She's looking at the giraffe in the background, but I doubt she would be interested. A giraffe would be too big, and giraffes being spotted big animals, I think Tingana has a spotted predator.
So you can see now Tingana, he is now becoming very much active. He has just been sowing, and I'm not too sure what was he trying to do. He was sowing, looking much more towards this side. Maybe there's another leopard coming, or he's just irritated by something. Look at that, he's got a very lovely stick pillow. Let's hope that stick pillow is keeping him well. So look at how he is sleeping there. So it's like he's sleeping on a bed. You can see the muscles by the hind legs. These are very strong muscles. Compared to the front legs, you can see the hind legs are the ones that works much harder than the front legs, which is opposite from the lions. By the lions, you see the muscles by the front legs. So he's now again lying down flat, as if he's not the one who was sowing just now. So let's hope something else comes here. So indeed, these are very much big paws. So normally we only see the underparts of these paws on the ground. So it draws a very nice track. And these paws, they can be very much big because they can also restrict the claws in and out. So when the claws are in, it makes this paw much looks bigger. So you can see that this cat is not going to go anywhere. He will be here for quite some time. So the eyes are even completely closed now. It is now enjoying sleep. So there's some flies as well. You can see the whiskers there as well. So these whiskers are called the vibrissae. So the vibrissae are there in order to help this kind of an animal, mostly during the dark, in order to measure the spaces in between the branches. So you can see they are very much sensitive. And they are dirty a little bit. Maybe it's because of what he was eating yesterday there, where he was sharing a kill with the Hosanna. Normally the cats, after feeding, they do clean themselves. Maybe the vibrissae are one of those parts which can be difficult to access in order to get rid of the blood. So those flies might be attracted by those vibrissae. So now let's go back to Brent, who's got the lions who are just now about to wake up.
Well, there is a bit more movement amongst the Nkuhumas. Not much yet, as I said. I think they've still got a good half an hour to 45 minutes before these cats decide to get going. But Dave, we have another sighting in this sighting. And let's go have a look at teacher Jamie and her children. There we go. Say hello, everyone. There's Jamie with all the trainees. Don't they look nervous and scared? Ha 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 ha. Let's look at the lines again. Okay. So let's have a look. Now, where? Oh, she's rolled over. So, as I was saying, that there is some signs of mange on some of the Nkuhuma pride as well, but not nearly to the same degree. And, of course, it's the ones that are not. We can't see now, they've rolled over. And check the one next to the tree there for me, Davy. Zoom, 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 zoom. No, that's not mange, that's a scar. Okay. Oh, she's chasing flies. There we go, trying to bite the flies. They've been quite lucky today with this cold, cool weather and quite a strong wind. There has, oh, yawn, half yawn. There haven't been too many of those very irritating little stable flies around, the ones that bite the lion's ears, and most animals' ears out here. What we... Oh, paw to the face. Isn't that nice? As I say, there is some movement, not too much just yet. And I am hoping that they do hear those buffalo not too long. And we are being spoilt with the light this evening, but it is going to go down into the clouds shortly. Very, very... Oh, it's almost yawning. It's almost a yawn. It's almost a yawn. But while we wait for our lions to yawn, groom, and get on the hunt, let's go back across to the Mara and some very cute little lion cubs that are suckling from mom.
Well, this particular lioness has amazing power because as much as she missed the hunt, she got something to offer her cubs. And I'm trying to imagine she is trying to show the cubs how powerful she is. I'll bet not having gotten the zebra down, she still have some milk for them. And how cool is this to have cubs nursing? And you can see her panting as much as, sorry, keep nursing. Good boy or good girl, keep nursing. Don't listen to whatever is happening outside the world. Did you get enough? Yeah, you can see her licking her lips. You can see the spots on her body, which will happen until about 6. Ooh, good stretch. How cool is this, eh? Have a seat. And the mother is on the move again. Well done. Having fed the cubs, now they have the energy to keep up with the mother. Do you want to play, the two of you? Sharpen your claws? Play with each other? Manu, let me know when you want me to back up. Hello. maybe a bit of fur on that neck. I don't want to say it's a male, but hello there. Are you trying to eat grass? Do you want to sharpen your teeth? See the whiskers on her, just like a cat. As much as she is, but like domestic cats. Hello there. All the teeth developed there. Good to eat meat. So we won't just turn around and find out where they want to go. Manu, can you see them? They're too close. So we're going to move forward a little bit. I don't want to reverse. I do not want to run over such beautiful cubs. So we're going to move forward a little bit. Okay, Mila go. Mila doesn't want to take that route. So we're going to take another different route to the left. Thank you, Mila. And let's see where they want to go. Still playful. And one front of the mother. How is that, Manu? Good. And the other one behind. Still on the move, but I got a feeling they must be looking, or she must be looking for some dinner for herself and two cubs. Hide and seek. Play. Jump. Oops. Are you sure you're not seeing her? This is very typical for carnivores, especially at this age, to be very social, and especially when it cools off. Like now, it's shortly after 6 o'clock, East African time. Crazy leg, yes. I mean, these cubs have so much energy because from when I started following them, like about 45 minutes ago, they have not stopped. They have not rested. They only rested for a few minutes when the mother went up for the hunt, and a few more minutes when they were going for suckling or when they were nursing. Now we've got 3 Maasai giraffes there, but definitely can tell you they spotted this lioness a long time ago, and they know they're very safe. They don't seem bothered or worried by the lioness. Chances are they know a single lioness will not even go for them. She just laid on the ground there, either to enjoy a bit of sun, get a bit of vitamin D. Are you trying to climb over your mother? Terrence, what happened is the cubs stayed put on a termite mound and they did not move. So the mother went, did all the chase, did all the stalking, ran. She was not very lucky. She came back and they stayed at the very same spot. But as soon as she got close to them, they jumped up or out of the termite mound, ran to the mother and went hugging the mother. So I would want to believe there's always a communication between lions or between when they go hunting and their cubs, like exactly what to do and not what to do. Number one, if they would follow maybe the mother hunting, they would have easily spoiled the kill, or they would have been spotted by other predators, which could be a bit tricky for them. Let's just follow them a little bit and see what might play out between them and the giraffes. As much as I highly doubt they or she may want to go hunt the giraffe. But such an exciting thing to see how the giraffes are going to face her. Christian, yes, the cubs have to worry. They have to worry about snakes. They have to worry about anything they don't see. How is that, Manu? They have to worry because you see like where they're walking now in the grass there could be so many dangers, and we got so many snakes, I would say, in Africa, like the pythons, which blend in very well, and they have been known to eat, any small little cubs or small baby animals. They have to worry. We have seen once in a while some of these cubs getting snake bites, and definitely once they get snake bites, they don't survive, they die. Hello? Like that grass is definitely too high for her, but the mother being there, she definitely will survey the area and make sure it is safe. So much energy, eh? Hello? And looking at the bellies, they don't seem bad. They seem pretty well fed. Big bellies. Either they had some kill last night, they had a bit of meat, and of course they just suckled a few minutes ago. How nice to see them just run, walk with the mother taking a few minutes to rest after that burst of trying to bring a zebra down. How nice. Brent, how are you doing with your lions in South Africa?
Well, Gigi, my lions are being very affectionate. They are starting that evening ritual of grooming before heading out on the hunt. And there is a herd of buffalo not too far away that we are hoping these lions are going to move towards. It is suddenly got quite nippy. Summer has forgotten it is here and went away, and we have winter weather again. But don't worry, there's one thing that'll keep us all warm, and that's lions hunting buffalo. You'll forget about the cold very quickly when they are pouncing on top of bovines. That's also still a little while before they get moving, but lots of grooming, yawning and stretching happening. And looking in the direction of the buffalo, I don't think they've heard the buffalo just yet. I think the buffalo might be a little bit too far for them to hear. The wind is in their favor, so the sound of the buffalo should carry to them at some point if the buffalo keep coming. Aubrey, make your way straight in, only 2 stations here. Okay, well, our lions are napping. We're about to start a school session, but we're going to start school session with the Duke of Juma. Lights coming through, Jerry.
Look at that. I've got a very, very beautiful cat, and this cat is very, very much relaxed at the moment. He has been here for quite some time now, and nothing is happening at the moment. Lovely. That is when the look at that. You can see that this cat is up to something. I'm not too sure who is coming, but he is sowing just to advertise his presence here in his territory. Maybe he could hear something from very far. They've got a very good hearing, and a very, very good afternoon, and welcome to the Avoca West School. I know you have been with us before, and ask your teachers in order to ask us questions. They can follow us on Twitter, #SafariLive. Look at this beautiful cat here. So the cat has just gave us a very lovely sound, which is very rare to hear this kind of sounds by this time of the day. Normally, they soar just before the sun set. So that is how they advertise themselves in their territory, so the other ones knows that he is here now. Listen to that. So that is when the leopard is sowing. So it's just like a human being sowing a tree. So the males normally they do it for about 4 times. That is quite a lovely sound. I am really enjoying this sighting. Makla, we do have the other cat species, such as the lions in the areas, and we even got some of the small species, such as the spotted cats, the wild cats, African wild cats. So look at that. So I know people, they get a lot of confusion between them and the cheetahs. We do have also the cheetahs in the area here. If you look at the eyes, this one is a leopard. He doesn't have the tear mark, whereas the cheetah's got the tear mark. Look at that. Look at those very big teeth. He's using those big teeth in order to defend himself when there is a problem, but also in order to hunt the other animals for feeding purposes. This is amazing. Tingana is so very happy today because it's James Henry's birthday. That is why he's doing this. So you can see now he is moving much more towards the other side. I'm just going to reverse and try to get the better sighting again. This is amazing. I'm really enjoying Tingana sighting today. He's so happy. Listen to that. This is interesting.
Something to do with geography.
So you can see now that he's going to start marking his territory. There is a vehicle behind me at the moment which is also about to move. I am not alone here at the sighting. I'm going to try by all means and reverse so that we can have a better sighting. So now let's go back to Brent. Brent has got a lovely lion sighting.
Well, yes, welcome Avoca West School. Isn't this awesome? We're surrounded by a big pride of lions. They are called the Niconico Pride, and it looks like they're about to get up and start hunting. So they are very, very hungry, but at the moment they're going through their normal evening ritual before they get up on the move, which means they'll be doing a lot of grooming, licking, cuddling, stretching, and maybe even some growling at each other. There we go. Look at them. Hello, Ariel. Ariel would like to know, what is the largest pride of lions I've ever seen? Ariel, the largest pride of lions I've ever seen was 51 lions in the Masai Mara in Kenya when I was about 10 years old. The largest pride of lions I've seen in South Africa is about 42 or 43 lions, about 60 kilometers to the east of where I am now. So there we go, all stretching and waking up. So unlike us who sleep during the night, the lions sleep all day and most of the night. Most lions will sleep for about 20 hours a day. Hello, big girl. Where are you off to? She's got an itchy elbow. Now, the lions are so used to us, they walk really close to our cars. Sorry, Emma, could you go again with that question, please? And they are heading in the right direction. They are very hungry. Evan, I have been very lucky. Evan would like to know if I've ever seen two lions fighting. Evan, I've seen lots of lion fights over my years. Some very bad ones where they actually kill each other. Other ones where they more just give each other love taps. So we can see how close they are to us. They're moving a couple of meters away from me. Now, a lot of people get worried that lions are going to jump into the car. Of course, this is not the case, because when we're in the car, the lions don't actually see us. Oh, look at that big yawn from the male. Hello, kitty cat. So this pride is very hungry at the moment, so they are setting off to go try find some food. Oh, big boy. So he's starting to grow his mane. He's only about 3 years old, but he is a very pretty little boy. Arian is wondering if I've ever had animals be aggressive towards me. Arian, occasionally, but it happens very, very inoften. We've been out in the bush for a very, very long time, and our experience and knowledge is what keeps us safe out here. I was lucky enough to grow up in the bush, so I've been watching lions for as long as I can remember. The first time my dad took me tracking lions on foot, I was 5 years old. Eleanor would like to know, what animals do lions like to hunt? Eleanor, whatever they can catch, but this pride's favorite food is a very big animal called a buffalo. And they're quite lucky because there are some buffalo around. So there's a good chance that this is where the lovely Niconico Pride are going to be heading, towards the herd of buffalo. Okay, how Let me have a look behind me. How far have they moved? Some of them move quite far. Okay, I'm going to move my car to get into position and to be with the front running lions. So hold on. Hello, big boy. Now, young males like this, stop looking at my tires, are attracted to movement, and you watch their heads go round and round and round when they are watching tires. But while I keep moving into a spot where I can keep up with the lions, I'm going to send you a couple of 1,000 kilometers back to Kenya and Gigi, who's now looking at the world's tallest land mammal.
Hello, boys and girls of Avoca West School, and welcome back. I'm sure you have joined us before. It's very nice to have you back with us from the lions. Now you are in the Masai Mara Triangle in Kenya. Will you believe how far you are? Kenya is a country in East Africa, and I'm sure your teachers will show you on the map after the drive where we are. We got some different animals for you. We got a giraffe, and we got a moon in the background. Isn't that cool, boys and girls? Remember, you're very welcome to ask us any questions through your teachers. If you see something exciting and you want to give a comment, you're very welcome to do that. Giraffes, I'm sure you can remember, they are the tallest animals in Africa. And Maya, giraffes once in a while will fight. And in general, it's the males that fight. The females do not fight. When I'm talking about the males, I'm talking about the boys. When I'm talking about the females, I'm talking about the girls. And what they do, you see like that one walking there, Maya, they swing their heads. And when they swing their heads, they hit their necks with each other. So in general, it's the boys that will always fight, and they fight using their heads, and they swing their necks. And as you can see that one there, sometimes you'll see the males, like the particular one, the horns are flat, what we call ossicons or ossicons at times, and they use their heads to fight. So they swing the neck and they hit each other's neck. Not headbutt, not head to head, but like that one there, it can swing its neck and hit the other one. So that is a male, boys and girls. If you look carefully on top of his horns, man will show you the horns look a bit flat. Do you see that? And that will happen to the boys. If she or if he was a female or a girl, you'd see some hair or fur growing on top of those horns. So boys will have flat horns because once in a while they use them to fight. I'm sure you remember we told you last time, if you happen to have seen giraffes, these are the tallest animals, and they have one big advantage of all the other animals. They can eat trees or the branches that are very high on the trees, which other animals cannot reach. We say giraffes are browsers, meaning that they'll eat or they'll always eat some things or some food that is always on top of trees. And unlike the lions you saw earlier that we say they're carnivores because they eat meat, giraffes are herbivores because they only eat green matter, leaves, branches, tree barks, like that one. If you look carefully, she's pulling out some leaves from that small bush. And giraffes will not eat grass. Small leaves, small twigs of trees, small branches, that's what they feed on. And we got many types or different types of giraffes. This particular one that you see here, it's called the Masai giraffe. Masai giraffe, and we also got other types of giraffe. But what we have now in the Masai Mara Triangle in Kenya, game reserve here, it's called the Masai giraffe. And you can tell how tall they are. Very tall animals, very long necks they got, very long legs. And I'm sure all of you are happy to see this sighting of giraffes. I might pull forward a little bit, another like 5 meters, and you might be able to see them together. Remember, if you have any questions through your teachers, bring them on. any comments like saying this is an exciting sighting makes me feel very good. Now we got about 4, 5, 6 of them. Manu will tell me when to stop. Keep going. All right, Manu think we have a very nice place, and he's trying to frame the giraffes and maybe the moon in the background. How beautiful is that? Now let's first quickly go back to the leopard in South Africa.
Look at that, I've got a lovely spotted cat here. This spotted cat can be very, very much camouflaged. You can see that the spots, they're black and white and they're much more brown. So when this cat is in the middle of the grasses and in between the trees, it's very, very much difficult for the prey animals to see them. So you can see that this cat is moving while concentrating on what is happening here in the surrounding. So look at that. So this is quite a very beautiful cat, and this is one of the big cats we have got here. The biggest cat we've got is the lion and the leopards. So imagine this kind of a cat can be able to climb a very big tree, and they can climb very quickly. Julian, the leopards, they like to hunt the small animals such as the daycare. Yes, sometimes they do take impalas, and they also take the small animals such as the scrub hare. They even catch birds sometimes and also eat insects. Some of the flying insects such as the flying ants, the insects that comes from the termite mounds, the ant hills, they also catch them as well. Look at that. He is right now climbing on top of the ant hill. So he's now pretty much relaxed. So I'm just gonna pull further in order to have a good sighting. So now I am just going to move from here where I am to try and have a good sighting for you so that we can enjoy this leopard sighting. I'm just going to free wheel. So he's very much close. He is right here. You can see the tail is... Listen to that. Amazing. That was wow. So you can see the tip of the ears are much more black and there's some white tips. So now from the leopard on top of the termite mound, let's go to Brent. He also got a big cat on top of the termite mound.
So, like leopards, lions will use termite mounds for some height. And we've got a few more coming in behind us. And I'm just going to move again here, Dave, to get you a good picture of the big girl on top of the termite mound. She should look back towards us shortly. Hello, Gavin. Gavin would like to know how many lions usually hunt at the same time. Well, it'll be the adults of the pride. So in this pride, plus the young males. So in this pride, I'd say there's 7 are going to hunt, but generally it'll be all the adult members of the pride will hunt. Here we go. As we were hoping, she's looking at us now. Hello, pretty lady. The rest of the pride still coming up from behind us, behind the big termite mound. Kate is wondering, what is the biggest animal I've ever seen a lion eat? Oh, big yawn coming. Big teeth. The biggest animal I've seen a lion eat, Kate, is an elephant, a young elephant bull. Now you can see this female, she's got a wound on her. We're not sure how it happened, but it could have happened from hunting their favorite food, buffalo, because they can also be very, very dangerous. A big male buffalo can weigh about 600 or 700 kilograms. And it takes teamwork to bring down big animals like that. Oh, it sounds like it's the perfect time to be on a live safari because you're studying big cats at the moment. Isn't that exciting? Here we go, she's coming down. There we go, they are very hungry. Tenzin says, do female lions hunt? Indeed they do. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions about lions is that the males don't hunt, because they do. So big male lions spend a lot of their time away from the prides in groups called coalitions, and often they will actually hunt by themselves, and because they're so big and strong, they are able to catch quite big prey, even just two or one of them. Okay, so here come the rest. Okay, while I keep up with the lions and see where they're heading to next, let's send you back to the Duke of Djuma, Tingana.
Look at that, the Duke has got a very nice long tail. These tails can be long up to 94, 95, 210 centimeters. So he can use this tail as part of the non-verbal communication. If they want to communicate below our hearing ability, they can just use the tail. We are having a great day. This is lovely. We are so lucky to hear this kind of cats sawing so many times like this today. This is not happening very often. Mrs. Michael, the lepers, they do so as a sign of advertising themselves in their territory. He's trying to showcase his presence. This is his territory. He is warning the intruders that he is here and this is his place. But also to try and communicate with some other closely related limp members to say, I am by this side. So a group of these lepers together is called a leap. They can be very much solitary, but sometimes you can see them together. So there is quite a lot of communication which is now sent out from that kind of a saw. Very often, these kind of animals, for them to cry, you won't see that very easily. But yes, the animals do get disappointed sometimes because life in the bush is very much tough. There is quite a lot of fightings. Some of them, they even lose their babies during the kind of fights and they get disappointed, but they don't really cry. So you can see that this cat is calling and is trying to amplify the sound from the ground. He's just sawing while he's lying down on the ground, and that makes the sound travel faster. So now, from a small cat to a tall animal, let's go to the Masai Mara in Kenya, where David has got one of the largest mammal.
West School, you must be the luckiest kids I know of for a long time. Earlier, I was talking about, the giraffes having the advantage of reaching food that other animals cannot reach. You just saw the leopard there with Sydney, and you saw the spots on that leopard. And if you look at the giraffe carefully, she also got similar spots. But the big point here is you can see how she can pull down the branches from that very tall tree. Not any animal would easily do this without struggling. The only other animal I have seen trying to do this are elephants, but they have to stand on their hind legs to be able to be that tall like the giraffe. But you can see very easily for the giraffe, it tilts its head up and pulls the foot down. And look at that beautiful moon. At least if you look at the giraffe tongues, they tend to remain inside the mouth for so long, but because they have to eat, they have to keep popping them out. And sometimes you say they get sunburned because more often than not, they are always out of the mouth. The giraffe will always, or they also at times, use their tongues to reach for food. And they can hold some leaves or branches or twigs, like how you use your hands to grasp something. Or does it want to break that branch? I think it's so determined to do that. So at least you'll notice the tongues of giraffe, they always push them out, and they can hold twigs or leaves or small branches to feed on. So more often than not, they'll have their tongues out, and they get burnt sometimes by the sun. So boys and girls, a group of giraffes like this is called a herd of giraffes. But if you want, you can also say a journey of giraffes. Kaya, at the moment, I got about 10 giraffes where we are. They are all spread out. But Kaya, you will not be surprised if I tell you, there's one time I remember early this year, I saw about 75 giraffes together. 75 giraffes together. Kaya, most of the animals here in the African wilderness will always live in groups, and giraffes are not exceptional. Just seeing 75 together was a huge number. So giraffes or most herbivores will live in groups, and Kaya, and I'm sure the rest of the boys and girls know, to live together, it helps them to have many eyes. If there's any concern of, say, lions or leopards or animals that may want to come and hurt them, they'll have many eyes with them. Let's see whether they can get close to that giraffe that is feeding there. And I'm sure also in school, when you do a tour with your teachers will always tell you to stay together. Lauren, giraffes are pretty tall animals, and the males get taller than females. And let's see whether this one is a male or a female. But first, stop here for us to have an idea how tall they can be. For instance, just look at that one there. I don't know what might have made it a bit skittish. Giraffes can go up to 15 feet or about 5 meters tall, and that's especially in the male. 5 meters tall. Can you imagine? And then the females are always slightly bit shorter, maybe 4.5 or 4.6 meters tall. But boys are always much taller than the girls, going up to about 5 meters, 16, sometimes 17 feet tall. The legs, if you look at the legs, apparently, or by coincidence, the height of the legs and the height of the giraffe is more or less the same, is about 1.8 meters. And there they move. One thing I would like you to know, boys and girls, there's something very special about giraffes. If you look on that very long neck that I said is about 2 meters tall, almost 6-7 feet, they have some bones on their neck that we call vertebrae bones. I would want all of you, boys and girls, to touch your necks and ask your teachers to help you to count the number of vertebrae bones you have on your necks. Vertebrae bones are all the small bones on your neck from your shoulders all the way to the base of your head. And I'm sure your teachers know the number of vertebrae bones you got. Something interesting I want you to know is the number of vertebrae bones you have on your necks is the same number of vertebrae bones you see on that giraffe walking away. Isn't that exciting? The difference being giraffes, their bones are massive, they are huge and a lot bigger than ours as human beings. Julian, what the giraffes can do, or what advantage they have, you saw the one that was eating earlier. The giraffes are able to articulate, or giraffes rather are able to turn their head up, and that way it makes it much longer. So if this is the head of a giraffe and this is the branch, or this is the food is feeding here, so when I say articulate, I mean the giraffe can turn their head like this, 180 degrees. So if the food was here and this food is finished, then the food gets here, so the giraffe will have its head here, then it's going to turn its head like that. We call that to articulate. It'll go like that, and that would be like 180 degrees, and it's going to reach this food, of course, this way, not this way. So the necks may remain the same, but they're able to turn their head to reach much taller or food that's much higher than their necks. We'll try and move and find out where these giraffes have gone, but we still have beautiful moonlight at the moment. Okay, I'm sure they don't go very far. Giraffes walk very, very slowly, but as I try to get or to catch up with the giraffes, let's go back to the lions with the branch.
Well, our lions are taking a little break in their movements. That's not uncommon. As I said, lions sleep for an incredibly long time a day. They will sleep on average 20 hours over a 24-hour period. And when they move, they don't move solidly for 4 hours. They will move for 20 minutes, half an hour, have a snooze, move again, have a snooze. There's still some more coming through at the back. You can just see them moving through to the left. Oh, she's going to get up there. Brandon is wondering, how often do big cats like this eat? Brandon, it completely depends. On average, they'll eat every 2 to 3 days. But if they catch something big like a buffalo, they might feed on it for a day or two and then not feed for 4 days. And they can go quite a long time without food. They can go up to a week, 10 days sometimes without food. So it all just depends, Brandon, and on what they can catch. On average, over a month period, they eat between 8 and 11 kilograms of meat a day. Steph is wondering, do lions only eat meat? Yes, as a general rule, they only eat meat. There are no vegetarian or vegan lions. They would die. Their metabolism is designed for meat. And you will see them sometimes eat a bit of grass, green grass, and that's when they've got an upset stomach. That's to help them throw up or to purge their system. But as a general rule, they get all their nutrients from meat and blood. Very much still on the hunt. I think I heard that correctly. Kate said, what scars a lion? Mostly other lions, but also sometimes the prey they eat. Buffalo, kudu, they might get a stray kick from a hoof or a hook from a horn, which is what I think happened to the one female who's got a wound that's healed up quite nicely. Okay, the front runners are quite far ahead again, so I'm going to try to keep up with them. And so they're going to go through a little river system, so I need to find a spot where I can cross, and hopefully we don't lose them when they go into those thickets. But in the meantime, let's send you all the way back north to Gigi in the Masai Mara, who's got some giraffe that are being silhouetted by the African sunset.
to see the lions, and I've been able to catch up with the giraffes and see. Initially I had said 6, but now, boys and girls, let's count together how many there are. Alrighty, let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is 10. Wow. Well done, Manu. Initially it said 6 or 7, but it's a strong herd of 10 giraffes. And look at the sunset in the background there and see the silhouettes of the giraffe, how it makes them look very beautiful and very different. You might wonder why they look a bit dark. It's because it's getting a bit dark here in Kenya. We're in the Masai Mara Triangle Game Reserve in East Africa, and it's about 6:45 East African time. And as darkness comes, the light fades away, and most likely that's the male we saw earlier, and they'll be looking for a place to spend the night. You remember I was talking earlier of safety in numbers. So if I had 6 together, now we have 10 together. So they'll tend to remain that way. That helps them to spot an enemy because they'll have many eyes, some facing north, others south, others east, others west. If you look at them carefully now, they're all looking at different directions. Remember, as we told you earlier, should you have any questions or comments, please use your teachers. At least giraffes will always once in a while lay down to have a quick nap, but sometimes they sleep standing. People have been trying to research on giraffes, and they have said giraffes do not sleep for very long. And they say giraffes maybe in total in a day sleep for only 30 minutes at least. Will you believe that? In a whole 24 hours, they only sleep for 30 minutes. There's a bit of research going on to, double confirm that. But more often than not, you'll see them sleeping standing, or you might see them laying down. But either way, even when they lay down, their heads remain up like that, because it's a difficult job for the heart of the giraffe to pump the blood all the way to the head. So should they lay down like that, it will be very difficult for the blood to be pumped to the head. So they always lay down and the head remains upright. But also that helps them to make sure there is no danger, or they can keep around, they can keep looking around should there be any concern of, say, a lion coming to them. At least when you see a giraffe sleeping or having a nap when they lay down, it's very difficult for them to come up very quickly. They tend to struggle, and they'll always have to swing their front part of the body forward first and the neck, and then rise up. And lions have always known that's the very best time for them to catch giraffes. So they have to be very careful when they sleep, at least, so that, or they have to keep the head upright, and they can spot any animal coming. So maybe the direction they want to go, they are looking to make sure it is safe, or maybe they can see something I cannot see. It turns out once the giraffes finish chewing, like we saw them chewing the leaves on that tree, just like me and you, they push the tongue a little bit forward, they chunk the pipes where the food have to go down, and they just push it down. And I'm sure when they do that, they'll hold breathing for maybe a split of a second or 2 seconds, and then the food will go down. Something very interesting, when they chew and they swallow their food, when you see the poo of giraffe, it's very small. They're like pellets. And if you'd compare the poo of smaller animals, for example, even lions that you just saw with Brent, or the leopard you saw with Sydney, or even zebras, they have bigger poos than for giraffes. Can you imagine that? The reason being, the giraffes tend to eat very small leaves, very small twigs, and they digest their food very finely, and they end up dropping small pellets that when you're asked, who do you think this poo belongs to, you'd highly doubt it belongs to the giraffe. Very big animals, but very small poo, very small sizes of pellets they drop. See how beautiful they look. Mika, that's a very good question. I do not think I know that offhand how long the intestines are, but I'll be finding out for you. And the next time you'll be joining us, please remember to ask David, I want my answer of how long the intestines are. But you have caught me off guard. But that's a very interesting question that I would want also to go find out tonight when I go back to the camp. How beautiful to see them together, and I'm sure the one at the back will come and join the rest. And you remember I told you safety in numbers, just like what your teachers will tell you when you go out on a school tour, always to stay together. You don't go stray on your own because something could go wrong. But if they're together like this and they say get attacked by a lion or a hyena, they can very easily fight back and protect themselves. You see, she or he is getting closer to the other group. There she or he goes, joins them, and then maybe they might make a decision to move on. I will stay with my big giraffes, but let's take you to Sydney, who might be having another big animal.
Look at that, I've got one of the lovely animals. This is one of the big five animals. So the big five animals are those animals who are very much dangerous when you check their level of aggression, or when they are irritated, they can be able to retaliate. This is one of them. The big five is consisted of the buffalo we are seeing now, the lions, the leopard, the rhino, and the elephant. Look at that. This is quite a beautiful male. The rarest animal I have seen is called a pangolin. A pangolin is quite a very scaly animal, and he stays by this termite mound. They come out sometimes in search of food, so they are insectivores, so they also eat the termites as well. So this is quite a small head, and I am only seeing the males here. So now let's go back to Brent, who's got the lions on the move.
Well, those buffalo better hope that the lions don't find them, because they are the buffalo's favorite food. Or no, sorry, the other way around. The lions' favorite food is the buffalo. So they are out on the move. They're heading towards that direction. They're still quite far away. Now let's keep up with them. Hello, Cole. Excellent question by Cole there. Are lions colorblind? Yes, but it's because their eyes work in a different way to ours, Cole. And in that, their eyes don't see in color, or they see in sort of gray, greens, and blacks and whites, but also their eyes are designed to pick up movement. So they are designed to see the slightest little movement. They don't look for detail. So yes, you could say that a lion's eyes are colorblind, but they see in sort of different shades. And we are almost at the end of our school drive. Tia, last question. What is a lion's favorite dessert? Another buffalo. Well, that is what a lion's favorite dessert is. Well, it's another buffalo. So we're nearly done. We're going to get you one last view of the lions as they head off into the African evening. Isn't this beautiful? Thank you all for joining us, and we will hopefully see you soon. It's always wonderful to spend time with one of our favorite prides, the Niconico pride. Who knows, maybe they'll get lucky with a buffalo later tonight. I'm going to stick with them for now to see what they get up to. But remember to join us again for another school session soon from us at Safari Live, and all the wonderful creatures of the African bush. Goodbye.